Alright, we're back. We're going to start part 1 of our playthrough on A Touch of Evil against the Gargoyle. But first thing I like to say is that Flying Frog Productions, for every game they have, for every base game they have, they come out with a soundtrack for the game. This game has a soundtrack for Touch of Evil. It's not the greatest, but it's good, and it does add a lot of theme. And you know, I really like that. I like the fact that a company puts out a soundtrack to their games. I had never seen that before. Also of note, you're going to notice that this game plays a lot like Arkham Horror in many respects. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But I do want to go over one big flaw with this game. I know I keep saying this game has flaws, and you guys thinking, well, how can you like it so much? Well, when you play with all the expansions, there is really no reason to ever leave this first board here. Okay? You see the board? There's no reason to ever really go to any of the other places. Unless the monster just so happens to be at another place. And that is a flaw in this game. So, what I do is I came up with a special rule. Is I dealt every player one card from each area. Like Harlow here has a card from the Abandoned Keep, which is right here. He has a card from the Inn, which is here on the second board, and he has a card from the Smuggler's Cove, which is over here on this board, the coast board. And in order for them to even attempt to buy a layer card to figure out where the villain is, they have to visit each one of these places and then reveal their card. Okay? Katrina has it. She has the Windmill, the Forgotten Island, and the Lighthouse. And Maria has the Manor, the Monastery, and I believe the Shipwreck. So each one has a card from one area, and so that makes them have to travel the board and have an encounter at every one of the places. Harlow is our first player. Here's the little first player token. He is the inventor. Everybody starts with 2 investigation tokens. He has 3 wounds, and he has an honor of 3. He has a special ability here. He's genius. He gains 1 investigation at the start of each of his hero turn. So that's pretty good right there. As an action, may discard any 2 of his items to take another item out of any discard pile. That's not that bad. And quick thinking, may pay 2 investigation to gain +1 fight dice until the end of the fight round. This may be used multiple times per fight. He has a spirit of 1, a cunning of 4, and a combat of 1. His combat and spirit stink. We'll just say that right there. So we got to try to improve that. Katrina the Outlaw. She's deadly. When rolling fight dice hits on a 4, 5, or 6 instead of the normal 5 or 6. That's pretty good. And she has 4 wounds. She can take 4 wounds, so she's pretty good. She's an honor of 5, which is also well. Spirit of 2, cunning of 3, and a combat of 2. A little low on the combat, but yeah. And then Maria. Well, she has 4 wounds, 3 honor, and she's a barter. Town items cost her 1 less investigation to purchase, minimum of 1. Secret routes may use any secret passage printed on the board for free during her move rather than in place of her move. And she has a spirit 2, cunning of 3, and a combat of 4. And the secret passages are right here at Smuggler's Cove. Instead of moving normally, you may pay 1 investigation to move to or from the Abandoned Keep, which is all the way over here on the first board. One other thing I like to say is there is a cooperative mystery phase chart that makes the game a little harder. At the beginning of each villain round, you're supposed to roll the dice, 2 dice, and some bad things are going to happen. That makes this game a little hard and also bogs it down a little bit. So the way I do it is each time the shadow track crosses a line on the track chart, that's when I roll for the mystery chart. So every time it moves, instead of every round, just whenever it moves into a new bracket, that's when I'll do it. Alright, and let's get going. Our first player is Harlow, and so we're going to roll a die. In this game, you roll the die. This is for movement. He rolls a 1. Alright, if you roll a 1 on the chart, on your movement roll, you get a event card. So he'll take an event card, and this says play immediately. Play this card on any hero. That hero may now carry one additional card from either the manor or the windmill. Okay, we're gonna play it on Harlow. This game does have, unlike Arkham Horror, it does have a carrying limit. You can only carry so many items. You can carry one item, basically one item from each place. Like, you can carry one item from the manor if you find one there, one item from the windmill. Town items, you can carry one item from there, an ally from there, and so forth for each thing. So it does have a somewhat of a carrying limit where you can't overabundant, but you can have as many event cards as you possibly can. He moves one space. We need to work on his spirit, so he will go to the church. And the church has some special text on it. It says draw an event. So he gets to draw another event card. And this one says a painful truth. Play on any hero to prevent them from moving this turn. They must roll for lingering as normal. That hero gains die 6 investigation. Well, this card really only applies if you're going to play a competitive game. So he'll just take this card and probably won't do much with it. But he does have a, that card probably is going to end up not being worth the flip. Okay, and then you see on here it says train spirit. Pay 2 investigation to make an honor 5+ test. If successful, gain 1 spirit. Alright, that's what we're going to do. So he's going to pay his 2 investigation. He has an honor of 3, so we're going to roll 3 dice. And he has to get a 5 on one of these rolls. If he does, he gets a +1 spirit. And we got a 6, 5, and a 3, so we definitely made it. All we needed was at least 1 5, so he's going to get a +1 spirit marker. And we'll take that here, and we'll just put that right there. Okay. Alright, now it's going to be Katrina's turn. I'll roll the dice. She moves 2. She needs to try to head to the windmill, but let's see if I want to. She can come back this way. Let's move her 1, 2, and then Maria. Well, that's a 6. She needs to try to head to the manor. So 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, she goes to the manor. So I'm going to take that manor card that she got. Alright. Rider's Hat. You may now roll an extra dice to remove each turn and choose which to use. Rider's Hat does not count against your carrying limit. Well, that's not bad. So she gets to keep that. And that is basically the hero's turn. Now it's going to be the bad guy's turn. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a mystery card. And these are usually pretty bad. Alright, Paranoid Delusions. If Lord Hombrook is still alive. Alright, he is. You're going to notice on these, like Lord Handbook right here, if he were dead, you would take him and put him to the side like that. Or if he were evil, they can turn evil. You're going to flip over his evil side. And he has a +1 combat wound, and he would join the villain. Depending on his secret, which we have to pay in order to look at his secret, unless you get a card that lets you look at his secret, then you're, he could join you, he could fight with the villain, or he can just not do nothing if you don't use him. But he is still alive, so every hero must immediately make an honor 6+ test. Wow. If failed, take die 3 wounds. If he has been killed or has joined the villain, move the shadow track 2 steps closer to darkness. Alright, so every hero is going to have to make an honor 6+ test. So we'll start with Harlow here. He has an honor of 3. I mean, he's got to get at least 1 6. And he does. Well, that's pretty good. Alright. Katrina has an honor of 5, so we roll 5 dice. And she got some 6s too. Well, that's very good. And Maria has an honor of 3. And she, wow, whoa. That's rare. I don't think I've ever done that before. So they all passed their test, so that's pretty good. So that was a pretty good round there. Nothing bad happened. Shadow track didn't move. The gargoyle didn't kill anybody. No monsters appeared. So now we move the first player token to Katrina, and it's her turn. She rolls a 4. She wants to go to the windmill, so she's going to go to the windmill. And the windmill here. So, uh-oh. Let's see. The beast in the dark. We got to fight that. You must use cunning instead of combat when fighting. Well, that's actually a help for her because she has a 3 cunning. The beast in the dark, if defeated, gain 4 investigation. Alright. Let's fight. Now, fighting in this game is not like Arkham Horror. It takes place simultaneously. So she's going to use her cunning to fight, and she's going to roll. She has a cunning of 3, and she's got to roll 3 dice. Now, remember, she hits on a 4, 5, or 6. Okay? And this monster can take 2 wounds, so if she hits it twice, she kills it. And she hit it twice, so she killed it. Now, that means that the beast in the dark, though, gets to roll its fight dice too, even though she killed it, because, like I said, this thing happens simultaneously. So this thing has 3 fight dice, and it's going to roll. And it hit her once, because it needs a 5 or 6 to hit. So she takes 1 wound. So we put this little wound token right there on the wound. But she killed it, and that's her windmill experience, and she gains 4 investigation for defeating it. So that's one of the differences in this game between it and Arkham Horror, is that this game, the fights take place simultaneously. There are a few cards that let you fight it, and then if you hit it or not takes precedent, but that's rare. But for most of the time, you're gonna do simultaneous fighting. Okay, and now it's Maria's turn, and she rolls a 2. So we just sit her back right here. And now Harlow's turn, and he rolls a 6. So he wants to go to the abandoned keep. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. He has to fight too, the Highwayman. If not defeated in the first fight round, Highwayman steals 1 of your items and disappears, ending the fight. Well, Harlow doesn't have any items, so that's not too bad. Harlow has a combat of 1. Yeah. So he's just gonna roll, see if he hits it. He won't be able to kill it. He does hit it. And this thing has a fight dice of 2. And it hits Harlow, so Harlow takes a wound. This thing takes off. And Harlow doesn't lose any items because he doesn't have any. And that's the hero's turn. We're going to move the first player token to Maria. And now we draw a mystery card. This card plays on the hero that drew it. Well, that would be Maria, since she's the first player. It's the Devil's Mark. She's -1 in combat. So her combat is now 2. And that's not really a good card. Yeah. But nothing too bad majorly happened other than that. There are cards that let you get rid of mystery cards and event cards. But like I said, you got to be able to get them. And it's not that often, but there are cards that let you do that. So it's Maria's turn. She's going to roll, and she rolls a 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I wonder if she wants to try to improve anything. No. 4, 5. She's going to go to the covered bridge, and on the covered bridge it says roll a die 6. On a 3+, draw an event. On a 1 or 2, draw a mystery card. So let's not draw a mystery card. Come on. Ah, crap. Yeah. And draw a mystery card. This is where this game kills you, with stupid stuff like that. Alright, play this card on the Harbor Master. While he's alive, any hero wanting to move across a water path must pay 2 investigation. Oh boy. Well, that's not going to be good. So this card remains in play, so we're going to leave this on the board here. Alright, now it's Harlow. He got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he moves here. And now it's going to be Katrina. She rolls a 5. See here. 1, 2, 3. She's gonna stay there. She's gonna go to blacksmith. She's gonna draw an event. Play to give any hero or town elder +2 spirit, or play to immediately peek at the secrets of one town elder without looking at them. We're going to use that later on. I can tell you that right now. And she's at the blacksmith, so she's going to buy an item. Now, I'd kind of do this like Arkham Horror here. I take the top 3 cards from the town items deck, and I draw them, and I have to buy one of them. So she has, 6 investigation. So let's see what we draw. She can get a map for 2. A book of lore for 6, or a book of history for 4. I'll take the map. I will take the map. She pays 2 investigation and gets the map. That's one of her town items, and so she has a +1 honor, so she's going to be good on honor. And that's going to be the end of the hero's turn, and we'll move the first player token back to Harlow, and now we have to draw a mystery card. Spread of Evil. Roll once on the villain's minion chart and work out the result. If a minion is rolled, place that minion at 2 extra random locations as well. Alright. Here's the villain minions chart. The gargoyle's chart here. So we're going to roll and see what pops up. And we rolled a 1. Terror from above. The gargoyle swoops down from the sky to terrorize the countryside. Draw a random location. If the location drawn has a deck associated with it, such as the windmill, discard the top 2 cards from that deck and remove all the cards in that deck's discard pile from the game. If the random location does not have a deck associated with it, the effect targets the event deck instead. Place 2 investigation at the location, and the shadow track moves 1 step closer to darkness. Alright, so we'll move the shadow track 1 step closer to darkness, so it's at 19, and we'll pick a layer card here to see where we go. The Abandoned Keep. Alright, so we're going to take 2 investigation, and put 2 investigation here at the Abandoned Keep. And then we got to take the top 2 Abandoned Keep cards and discard them. They're gone from the game. I'm just curious as what they were. Well, I could have used that dagger. +1 combat. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. That was not that great. But what are you going to do? Okay. Well, that's going to end this turn. We're going to start next video. Harlow, he's going to be the first player, and hopefully our luck will keep going. I would say we basically, the shadow track only moved one time. We had 3 turns, so that wasn't too bad. So we'll get next video. I'll see you then.